Okay, well, it's gone 7:30, so with or without them, let's get started. So I guess this is the last week because I think I've run out of things to train you. And I was just watching a TED Talk actually just before I came on, and I'll post the link, but she said, you don't create your life first and then live it. You create it by living it. And I think that's it. I don't know why I watched it, but I think I watched it for a reason, because that's exactly what I want you to take away from this, is that I can't teach you everything. I'm still learning, right? But I think you have equipped in your tool belt, in these webinars, which you can always go back and refer to, enough skills to get out there and start doing this business. And as I said in week one, you guys, the main thing people wanted to get out of this course was confidence. And that's something that I can't teach you. I know results will build your confidence, but without the action, you won't get the results. And so inactivity will actually make your confidence lower, if you like. So if you just get into action and realize that, people want this stuff. Like, you're just the messenger. The tools are there. Like, people will pay money for this stuff. Like, it's absolutely life-changing. You've all experienced it for yourselves. And all your job is to get out there and share it. And like I said on my post today on the ANZ group, it's our job. Like, your job, you don't need to, if you think of a traditional business, you might have staff, you'll have rents, you'll have lots of overheads, you'll have insurances and all these other factors to factor into your day. Your job with network marketing with this company is just to share the products and to talk to people. And the way that you become more successful is if you talk to more people and you get your team to talk to more people. So the only way I know how to flip people into action or to inspire them is to do it myself. So you guys have got to do it yourself. Don't look for the next training course to get on. Don't look for something as, I'm not quite ready. I don't think I can handle that objection yet, or I'm not really still sure what to say. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And if anything, just link them up with a 3-way message or a 3-way call with someone in your upline that is confident to do that. So, I will just go back to the questions, because some of you wrote some questions on the group. Question number one was in regards to that people have some prospects who don't want to start on a whole pack. How would you handle that? And handle a few separate different ways. I mean, if they're breastfeeding, then they can't necessarily go on a pack. But if it's somebody that's sort of looking for the silver bullet, I always go back to them and say, look, I could set you up with anything you wanted. A shake. If that's all you want, I'll definitely set you up with it. But I know from your goals that this isn't, you're not going to achieve your goals by this product or just by these products. It's really important to note that this is a systemic program. And the reason we recommend a full 30 days is because we like to race you to your goals and then step you back onto maintenance. So that's the way I would handle it. So you're always giving them the choice, but you're coming from a place of service. You know that that's not going to get them the results. They actually need to step up and get a system. If you need to get some third-party validation. So link them up with a 3-way, whether that be a message thread or whether that be on the phone with somebody that's perhaps more experienced than you, or can just give that, perfect example, I started on a 9-day cleanse and, I failed. So, I'm a good one to answer those sorts of objections with people, because I've tried to get out with a few silver bullet products and it didn't work for me. I actually failed. So always getting that third-party validation. Really important to pop them on the group as well, your cleansing group, and just always be in that group, be present in the group talking about the 30-day system. Because as we know, all the components work together synergistically. You can't break them up and expect fabulous results. So that's another thing that you can say to them is, you know, I'll set you up with whatever you want, but you can't expect to get these results. If you want them within 30 days, you can expect better results because you're addressing X, Y, and Z. Someone put up a question about how do you coach people after the 30 days? And I think that is really dependent on the particular person. I can't remember who wrote this question, but you know, I guess it's as a needs basis. So some people, as you know, they might have a large amount of weight to lose. So you're still, you know, not only getting, what do I say, not only teaching them how to use the program, but you're also really almost life coaching them and, you know, maybe enrolling them in the Healthy Mind and Body and really keeping them motivated. I always touch in with my cleansers. Obviously, if they're building the business or they've got to consultant or manager, you're spending more time with them there, building their belief about the business. If they're not, then they know how to continue with the program. So, you know, I'm always sending them a message at least once in their second 30 days, maybe once a fortnight. In their third 30 days, I'm touching base with them. And I'm also sometimes recognizing their good customer, you know, good retention of that person, or a good, you know, they're a customer within your business. And if we went back to that webinar where I spoke about retention within your business and product users being really important in your business, rewarding those people for being repeat customers is really important as well. So, you know, when the caramel cashew bars came out, I'd send a few, or the recipe books are like $20, you know, you might send a few, and just with a note, handwritten, which is really well received. You know, thank you for being a good customer. If you need anything, I'm always here. You just never know when somebody's going to decide to share these products. And, you know, I did that post this morning about it's not how many people you can bring into your business, it's how many people that you can love into this business. And just maintaining that friendship is so important. So always remain in touch with all your people. When somebody hits a plateau, that was another question. If you go to isagenixhealth.net and type in weight loss plateau, there's a great few articles that pop up. If you Google Susan Sly cycling calories, there's a great document where she basically changes the calorie diet, the calories every day. So she calls that calorie cycling, which can help get over a plateau. Swap people to the Isoline Pro, which the increased protein can help with a plateau. But I guess the thing you need to determine first of all is if they've actually hit a plateau. So people think if they haven't lost weight in the last 3 days that they've hit a plateau. That's not a plateau. So it's all about empowering them at that stage to keep going. You know, I would see a plateau as something that's not moving in terms of centimeters for maybe a 4 to 6 week period. Sometimes your body just has to catch up. So get them on a 3-way call with somebody that can empower them, tell them to get off the scales. Scales aren't accurate of a weight loss plateau. You know, you could be building far more muscle. You could have fluid on board if you're a woman, depending on what time of month it is. You know, and there's a really good article about weight on the scales, and I popped it up in the cleansing group today, but you can also Google that on, search for that on isagenixhealth.net. Retention. There was a few questions about retention. So I wanted to open the lines up to, I think Jen, you wrote something about retention. I think Rach did. I think Chelsea did. What are you actually meaning about retention? Hello? Got to unmute yourself.
Okay. I think my question that I popped up was, you know, for your inactive associates that you have in your downline, how would you, or how do you normally reach out to them if they haven't come back on for a few months or more than that? What I do is I don't contact them just for, you know, Isagenix purposes. I usually just catch up with them and see how they're going and, you know, in their lifestyle basically. But how do you bring, like, how would you bring up, I guess, Isagenix to them? Like if you wanted to, how they were going in that department, if they were wanting to maybe do another 30 days, or do you just come straight out and ask them?
I don't think there's no magic script. You know, there's no magic conversation. The conversation you're going to have with an inactive is going to be different to me. So it's a really hard question for me to answer. But I think you said the main point, which is what I would make, is that you've got to maintain that relationship, whether that be Isagenix or not. And just like skill number 1, where you find people to talk to, and skill number 2, talk to people you find, go back to those initial webinars where we spoke about how you drop the word Isagenix in, or how you talk to people about Isagenix, and it will be exactly the same as these particular people that have become inactive. You've got to remember, average retention rates sit at around 25% after a 12-month period. 40% of people drop off after the first 30 days. Now, you can improve those statistics, and I've seen businesses where they've drastically improved. You know, I know Chelsea Bennett has a massive retention rate, which is definitely, you know, showing up in all the reports and things like that. So you can change that, but you've got to remember, there are some people that will drop off for various reasons, and you'll never be able to reactivate them. It's just the game, you know. So just maintain that relationship. Just keep showing up on your social media. Keep being a product of the product. Keep the product the main things, and just keep the relationship at the forefront. And some will, some won't, right? Yeah. But it's also having that conversation around the Autoship and the Autoship rewards. Once someone's stayed on board for around 3-4 months, they're likely to stay within your business. I can't remember the actual percentage, but it's around 70%. So that's why it's so important that we leverage the IsaBody Challenge and get people in the IsaBody Challenge, where they're going to get great results over a 4-month period. They're going to hopefully have a program at the end of that 4 months that fits in with their budget, fits in with their lifestyle, and is maintaining their results. So it's about that intense coaching period in that first sort of 4 months, making sure that they're hitting their goals. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally does. Thank you.
Yeah. There were some other questions about retention as well. No?
So are we supposed to be asking them tonight, or just go off the Facebook?
If you can ask, because I was a bit confused about some of the retention questions.
I can't even remember what I asked now, but I would have asked a question because I don't shut up. Let me have a look.
Really?
Oh, God. Too funny.
She talked me to sleep on Saturday night. Like, Heidi. I'm all...
Oh, shit.
So I guess your main points with retention, we've gone through the IsaBody Challenge, we've gone through the coaching. It's so important that you have that conversation about the Autoship rewards. You know, it's a rewards program. Don't be scared. You know, sometimes I say, well, what's your budget? You know, it doesn't have to even be a qualifying order. Okay, it just has to be something in the system to keep Isagenix at the forefront. You know, it might be the Isagenix, it might be the Ionix in their fridge. So, you know, having that conversation like, okay, what do you love? Like, you've had great results. We want to keep you those results. You know, my 3-star products are the Ionix, the Shake, and the Cleanse. you know, and obviously you have to have the snacks every other month to do those cleansing program. But, you know, that might be like $150 a month. Is that something that's doable for you and your family to get your results? You know, and most people are like, yeah, like that's quite cheap. And some people, you know, there's someone on the group the other day and they're like, has anyone gone off Isagenix and put all the weight back on? I've run into some money problems. And my first thing was not, oh, you poor thing, or no, you know, it was, if you run into money problems, why would you go off Isagenix? It's economical. It's $4. It's not expensive. You know, it's the best food you can feed yourself. If you have a look at the nutritional value that's in the shake and you actually had to buy that at the supermarket, it's going to cost you around $20, but it's costing you $4. So really it's an economical decision to stay on it. Obviously the trick as well is to get people paid to manager. I think we went over that. So once you get someone to manager, they stay in your business 95% of the time. So that's you +2, them +2. And I don't mean get them there once, I mean keep them there. So my first question with people is, you know, would you like to get a rebate on your products? And they say, yes. And you say, okay, well, what we do next? Remember we went through this, so what we do next? So what we do next is we need you to put up a Facebook status. And people from interest for that, we might run a webinar, or we might do a launch party, or whatever that your goal is for that particular person. So getting them paid is so important. Empowering them to stay on the products and to keep their results. If you're having a little bit of an issue convincing them, get them on a 3-way call with someone that is maintaining their results or maintained them for a long period of time. And also, as I said, talking about Autoship rewards. So what sort of money are they prepared to pay each month on their products, and how do you accommodate where their results are and what's going to be feasible for them in their long-term success. There was another question about how do you get people interested in the business but you can't get them to an event. Look, I don't know, and I think we spoke about events and the gradient of events, and how I said, like, I wouldn't take somebody to Celebration on their first event unless they're really open to it and have the money to get there. Even Summer Kickoff, it's a $1,000 event really for most people. So unless you've got someone that's helping you get there, it's a big ask for people that aren't being paid a lot of money. It's also a big ask for someone to go away from their family for a period of time when they're not actually seeing the results of the business. So I think, and I know you'll hear a lot of leaders that say, you know, I slept in my car, you know, you have to get to the events and you have to do this. And yes, to a certain extent, you really have to try, like if this is what you want, you really have to try to get there. But at the end of the day, again, results are going to get you there, because the more results you produce, the more interest, the more money you're going to have to get to the events, and the more interest you're going to have because you feel like it's worth your while to be at that event. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. So the first thing I would do is leverage the gradient of events, and the first event is a launch party, right? That's a mini event. You have people in the room that are sharing their story, whether that be product-based, business-based, or both. You have the presentation up there where people are learning about the products, learning about the company, building their own belief. So that's a mini event, you know, and even before that is a 3-way call. That's a mini event. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a big company event to get them involved in the business. But if you've exposed them to sort of some 3-way calls, some launch parties, they've got to consultant, perhaps they've even got to manager, and they're still not wanting to go to an event, don't lose hope in those people. Don't cut off the relationship. Don't put your hands in the air and say they just don't get it, because sometimes it's okay if they just don't get it yet. Sometimes it takes people a little while. So just stick at them. I mean, perfect example is Georgie, my girl, who's been in my business for about 18 months. she was just buying product of me. She didn't even want to sign up an account. She was that scared of Isagenix and Autoship and, you know, and after about 6 months of that and getting some results, she finally purchased her pack. And then another 12 months later, she's finally done a launch party, and now she's coming to summer kickoff. So it's like sometimes you just need to chip away at someone. It's their own belief. Never lose hope. And my post today was kind of surrounding this, because I said, you know, a lot of people call me and say, how do you know who to spend your time with? And I don't. Like, yeah, you've got those $1 million challenge reports, which are awesome. It really tells you in your organization who is working at the moment. But not to mention, someone that's not working at the moment isn't going to be a superstar in the future. But if you don't nurture that relationship, the relationship is what keeps them in your business. It's that retention piece that we were just talking about. So if you don't nurture that relationship, then they're going to be gone forever. And who knows? Who knows what that person may or may not be. But you've also got to understand that that's the job. 5% of people are really going to build this business. 5% of people are going to be those millionaires, going to be those platinums. Okay? And so, number one, you got to be that person. How to get people interested in the business? Do the freaking business, right? Like, if you're not doing it, how's anyone going to follow you? If you're not in that $1 million challenge report coming up, who's going to follow you? You're not at the events, who's going to follow you? If you're not more committed than anyone else on your team, then don't expect them to be interested in this business. And I had a call with Kathy Cooper today. Actually, I wrote some notes. I had a call with Kathy Cooper today, and, you know, she went to the top of 3 network marketing companies. And she says today that, you know, basically that same thing. Like, she was more committed than anyone else on her team. And you can't expect to be a leader dictating what others do if you're not doing it yourself, right? And so, you know, when you get to director, stay at director. When you get to executive, stay at executive. When you get to manager, stay at manager. Continue to build those consultants. And she said that she set a goal for herself that she enrolled 6 people a month every single month. And when people said it slowed down in December and January and that couldn't be done, she enrolled 12. So you have to be the person you want your team to be. Okay? And it doesn't mean that you have to have a star ranking, doesn't mean you have to have executive by your name, doesn't mean you have to have all these freaking trophies behind me. It just means, like, how did those trophies happen is that I got my team into action, right? I'm only as successful as the people underneath me in my downline. And that's what made me successful. So you have to build a downline. But if you're not doing the do and you're not showing up and you're not actually doing the business, how do you sit back and expect other people to do it? Right? It's so frustrating. And, you know, I hear some people, you know, leaders in this company or that have had that title of a leader, you know, they might have a few stars and they may have an executive, but they're not paid ads. And I hear them say, oh, my team's just not working and I just don't have any superstars yet. And it's like, hang on a second, how many people have you enrolled this year? Hang on a second, how many launch parties have you hosted? Not only for yourself, but how many people have you helped host a launch party in your downline? Are you showing up in the $1 million challenge report? The people that are enrolling, the people that are getting people into the ISA Body Challenge, Healthy Mind and Body, the people that are retaining people in their business. Are you showing up in those reports? Because if you're not, don't sit there and blame your non-success on the inactivity of your team. You can only be as successful as you. Your downline will build your success, but they have to have something to follow, right? Oh, I got a little bit fiery. Yeah, what else did she say? She also said, never feel weird about these products. You know, these products are life-changing. And like I said at the beginning of this, everybody wants these products. They're going to pay for these products because they want them. So never feel weird about sharing these products that are going to change people's lives. You know, if you want to get back into momentum, or you want to get into momentum, and get back to basics. And that's why this training is so basic. Bennett said he trains on 3 things over and over and over again. Now, Bennett is our upline in the States, and he's on to his 3rd business center. So he's maxed out 2 business centers. He's almost set to max out his 3rd. He trains on 3 things. Number 1, using the products. Okay, so he uses the products. He says, be your own best customer. Use the products. You know, be a product of the product. Order every 30 days. Order more than any of your team. Like, be showing that you're using the products. He says number 2 is talking to people. And like I said, that's your job. You don't have the overheads. You don't have the headaches of traditional business. Your job is to talk to people and get your team talking to people. And number 3 is the tools. And the tools, can get so overwhelming, right? Because you've got Isagenix Health here, you've got Isagenix Business, you've got Isagenix Back Office, you've got all of these tools, Isamovie. But if you just go to livelifelive.com, which is a website I paid and set up for you guys, that's a central hub. There are links to absolutely every Isagenix website, so they don't get overwhelming. You just send your team there. If any of you want to upload your video and your story, I can do that for you as well. It's a great opportunity for your prospects to see that you're on the team, and recognition goes up there, and there's links to SoundCloud, the Isagenix SoundCloud, so all the podcasts. There's links to Isagenix podcasts. There's links to the YouTube channel where all these videos have been taped and recorded, so you can leverage these. You can use them with your team. But the thing is, you have to use them, right? Don't wait for 6 months till I put up another, I'm going to do back to basics training and apply again. I'll kill you. Not really. But, you know, don't waste the next 6 months of your life. You know, if you think that I got to 5-star in 12 months, doesn't mean that any of you cannot. It doesn't mean, you know, and we're seeing rank advancements everywhere in Isagenix at the moment. We are back in momentum, big time. But there are a lot of people that are completely distracted. And I think I almost had an advantage getting to 5-star is because there wasn't so much noise, okay? Keep the basics, you know, keep the main thing, you know? Drive people into your business. How are you going to do that, right? Supporting them on the products, bringing them in on the products, doing the launch parties, doing the 3-way calls, making it super simple so that they want to follow in your footsteps. Amelia, I'm just going to use you as an example because you're staring at me here. But, you know, Amelia is coming up in the reports, in the recognition reports with Eve and Melissa. And, you know, they're a great little team. There's like 3 of them, right? And it's because, you know, Amelia, I think you were the first one, right, that signed in, yeah? And then Amelia got results, and then she helped Eve and Melissa. And because Amelia has this great energy about her, and she's doing the do, and she's enrolling, and Eve and Melissa are following, right? So that's helping Amelia's team. That's in her downline. So now it's like Eve and Melissa have got to attract these people and bring them into their business. So they're doing the do. They're not waiting till they know everything. They don't, you know, like Eve is still sending me questions, and that's great because I know that she's, you know, she's thinking and she's learning as she's earning. So don't wait till you know everything. Be that person where people want to follow you. Now, Amelia, I think you've just hit director, which is awesome. I'm giving you a high five. But, you know, next step is executive. And so, you know, Eve and Melissa is like, okay, my next step is director. I've got to get there. And this is how Amelia did it. So this is what I'm doing. You know, Amelia's bringing in, I think you're in the top enrollers last month as well. So I can't remember how many enrolled, but it was up there, you know. And so.
I can't remember either.
Huh?
I can't remember either.
Yeah, I think it was like 7 or 11 or something like that. But it was up there. And so, you know, Eve and Melissa, you know, well, that's what Amelia's doing. I can do that too. What's she doing? What's she, you know, so they're following the leader. And we always say the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. And Kathy Cooper always says that. The speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. You know, Amelia's doing launch parties, Eve's doing launch parties, Melissa's doing launch parties. They're all helping each other. They're all sharing their stories. They're all enrolling. They're coming up in the reports. They're all this little team is like firing. Okay, so you got to find your team and you got to fire them. You know, and it's all about your energy. If your energy isn't there, if you're one of those people that's sitting back just waiting for like a professional network marketer to drop out of the sky that's going to enroll 120 people into your business, you're going to be waiting for a long time. You've got to go out and find that person, right? So people that can't get to an event, how do you inspire them to do the business? By doing it. Simply by doing it and showing them how to do it. By doing it. Okay, not sitting down and spending hours drawing out the comp plan, strategizing when we're going to do a launch party. You know, it's just like Alex the other day. I was like, Alex, give me the dates for the launch party. It's happening. He says, okay, Ma, it's happening. And so it's happening, you know. It's, you know, it's my job to get Alex results. And so I set the action path and you know, Hattie, and there was a question about digging deep. Was that yours, Rach?
No, that wasn't mine.
Okay. Who was the question about digging deep? What sort of reports I run? Okay, well, let's talk about digging deep, okay? So my sponsor, her name is Belinda. You probably have never heard of her. She gave me the biggest gift on earth, and yet she didn't build this business. Well, she's built it a little bit, but she hasn't built it like to the extent that I had. And I hear a lot of people sort of say, you know, well, they can't do this business because they have not a very supportive upline. And it's like, you know what? Cut the crap. This business has nothing to do with your upline. You have all the tools sitting there. All of you have an amazing upline. I'm just going to say that's me. But, you know, there is always someone up there, right? So if you're doing the do, your upline will recognize you. Like, I recognize people on this call, not because we've even probably had a conversation, because I've seen your name. I've seen your name come up in the reports, or I've seen your name. And I've got 25,000 people in my downline. And I get you guys. Like I'd say 75% of you, I really know quite well. I know where you're up to with your businesses. How do I know that? Is because you're either doing it or you're not doing it. Okay, you're coming up in my reports or you're not coming up in my reports. When you've got a small team of, you know, you should be just in your back office having a look who's being enrolled on your left, who's being enrolled on your right, who did that, have they unpacked the box correctly, do they have support there, have you made contact with that person. These people in your downline, although you haven't personally enrolled them, they're within your business. So they are your business, okay? And I know a couple of my executives used to get a little bit funny about me reaching deep into their business because they could coach and they could do, and you know what? They can coach really well because I taught them. But it's not about them, it's about the person below. And you just never know when someone unfortunately slips through the cracks. So be looking in your back office all the time and digging deep and reaching out, whether that just be a little Facebook message or making sure that, you know, you're commenting on their things and creating that relationship as well. As I said, running the $1 Million Challenge report for your downline, my God, it's like, I hope Kathy Cooper never withdraws this competition, because it absolutely makes it so easy for me to print off a report and see, you know, who is doing the do, you know, and that report went up by Paul today on his public list and went up in our cleansing group last week. But it really highlights not necessarily who's being paid the most. So it's not a cycle report. It's not a rank advancement report. and that's what I love about it. And that's going back to my launch party incentive. That's why I did it that way, is because sometimes people that are doing the work aren't necessarily coming up or being recognized in recognition or traditional reports. But this $1 Million Challenge will really tell you who's enrolling, who's rank advancing their team, who is, really doing the do. So I would definitely be utilizing that. I'd be utilizing Isopulse. So if anyone hasn't downloaded that on their phone, make sure that you've be doing that. So it's called Isopulse. It'll give you a notification when someone in your downline has entered the Isobody challenge. It'll give you a notification when somebody has enrolled someone and they may be due for their second PIB. So reaching out to that person, telling them congratulations, can you help them? Do they need a 3-way call with that second person? And yeah, that's sort of like digging deep. So back to my story about Belinda, every day I thank Belinda for giving me the opportunity. And she didn't necessarily have to do anything, but Paul and Suzanne definitely reached deep. So I'm in there, I think I'm there 4 PET deep, which means that I'm 4 levels from them. So they enrolled Ranga enrolled Emily enrolled Belinda enrolled me. And because they saw that I was doing some stuff, they extended their help to me and really have helped me all the way, and still do every single day if I need help, because they're far more advanced than I am. So it's really important to dig deep in your organization, not just work with your personally enrolled, and remember that the people in your business, however deep, are your business. Yeah, and they'll be only grateful for your help, I'm sure. I think that's all the questions that went up on the group. We have 20 more minutes or so. Do you want to open the lines and ask any other questions? Does anyone want to say anything that they've learned, or they've had revelations, or their business has improved, or their business hasn't improved?
So Heidi.
Hi, Jen.
Hi. So I've actually, I guess for me, I've almost hit like a aha moment. So I've basically feel now I'm more confident in, when someone wants to sign up, sort of recommending to me, one of the two is the Business Builder Pack and the President's Pack, because I think to do the cleanse, when I first started, I didn't have the Ice of Delights. I didn't have a lot of things to make it successful. So for a lot of people, I think cleansing is quite difficult when you first start off. So I think it's important to be able to sort of offer the Ice of Delights, the e-shot. So I think giving them that option and just saying to them, if you want to make it really work, I think that this pack would really be good. And I've actually was able to, sign up somebody on the Business Builder Pack. Good. And so I sort of feeling more confident that instead of going, or maybe they can't afford it, having more confidence and sort of saying, well, if you want this to really work, this comes with this, and that will really make things really easier for you. And that's what I found, speaking with more confidence.
So you found that your posture has changed?
Yes, for sure.
Awesome.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
That's great. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, hey Heidi, it's me again. I just wanted to reiterate like what you were saying about linking people into our Live Life Live Free website, because up until we started this Back to Basics course, I wasn't really utilizing it. And just, with the enrollments I've done since then, I've just been, getting people onto that website and saying, this is where we start. You click on there to get started, and we go through the unpack your box and just ticking off, the checklist that we've got on there. And it's so much easier now. Like I don't even have to, worry about what's coming up, because now those few cleanses that I've been putting through that process, now they know what they're telling me what they're getting themselves for the next 2 to 3 months, like what packs they're getting. So thank you for that.
Yeah, that's good. So they're getting the Autoship rewards, video at the right time. They're getting that click funnel. So they're getting that 30 days of coaching. They're getting empowering from messages from all different team members. It's working really well for me as well. I haven't had anyone, be shocked about Autoship. I think my retention, I had one guy drop off today, but, that's another story. But I think I enrolled 11 people last month and 10 of them are staying on board. So, yeah. It's awesome. Thanks for that. And if you want anything added to that website or email funnel list that comes out, just let me know and we can add it in as well.
Hi, I've got a question. Just about the open the box video. I don't know if this is the right forum to talk about it, but is there a because I don't know how old it is. It seems a little out of date because it mentions, I think, or Emma or both Emmas mentioned product B.
That's not on Unpack the Box call. We've got Christy doing it.
Oh, okay, God, there's another one. Okay, because I've seen Emma and Emma's.
No, so it's on the website. So it's on Start Here and it's on the website. So Christy just redid it maybe like 2 months ago.
Oh, okay.
So it's got the Isagenix, not the product B.
Okay, great. And another question was, and I doubt that the answer to this is yes, that's possible. But the 30 days, I mean, with Australia Post taking a little bit longer now for delivery for some people, sometimes up to 5 days. Obviously, their 30 days starts from ordering, and then they're not starting until 5 days later, 6, or they get it on a Saturday and they're going to start Monday. It could be a week later. So the timing then can be a bit out. Thinking they're only at week 3, but they're actually week 3 from starting, but they're actually right near their Autoship about to come through.
Okay. I actually was asked that question if there was any delivery issues, and I hadn't heard of any. And the people that I've started have got their packs within the 3 to 4 working days, which is what we quote. So if there are those issues, you just need to get me their names and their ID numbers so I can send that through. Because although the contract changed, the contract time never should have. So they still should be getting within 4 working days.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it was always a bit quicker in Sydney. I guess it was always, I would say you could guarantee 2 days within Sydney, and it's definitely now 3 or 4. But if the contract says between 3 and 4 days, then it's still within.
But I guess to answer your question, the next 30 days is still going to take 3 or 4, 5 working days to deliver. So although it comes out on the 30 days, still maybe 5 days before they get it. So
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Be really good if you showed that increased confidence now, guys. What have you learned? What have you...
Yeah, for me, the confidence has really come through, and it's funny because I've even had Stuart commented on it as well. Just when he hears me on the phone talking to people, and like if we're out somewhere and I'm talking to them, and for some reason Isagenix comes up, and he's just mentioned it that he said, "Oh, Rachel, it's really nice to see how you talk about Isagenix." And I've also had friends say, you talk about it with so much passion, but then we can see it coming through in like in your social media posts. And not only that, but when we actually meet up with you, and it it just comes through that way. And so that just gives me more, I guess, fuel for going forward. So it's confidence was one of my things coming into this boot camp as well, and I've definitely gotten that. So thank you Thank you, Heidi, and thank you for everybody for their support as well.
No problems. Does anyone feel like, and let's be open and honest here, anyone feel like they haven't got anything out of it and that they feel like there's still something holding them back from sharing this?
Yeah, I do.
Yep. What's up, Kylie?
I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe my why is not strong enough. I don't know. Like I want so much to leave where I'm working. But I'm just not doing anything about it. So I was doing launch parties every fortnight for a while there.
And what did your business do when you did those fortnightly launch parties?
I don't know that in the beginning it was good. Like I had a couple of cleansers who were really committed and would come along to the launch parties and share their stories. And then they sort of dropped off, and then I guess probably my confidence dropped off a bit. And now we've moved, and so I feel like I don't really know a lot of people around here, so I probably need to do an online launch. But that's just really scaring me for some reason. I don't know why. I think probably the idea of nobody showing up. I don't know. It's really frustrating me because I know, like, if I just do that stuff's going to happen, but I'm just not doing it.
Okay, so I remember sending you a card not so long ago.
A card?
Yeah, did you get that? A recognition card. You came up in some recognition post.
Mm.
You did, somewhere.
Yeah, no, I didn't get a card. Maybe because we moved.
Maybe because you moved, yeah, I was about to say that. You did definitely come up in a recognition post. I definitely remember writing it. So I'm just wondering if that was the time when you were running those launch parties. I mean, you know, like I went back to what I said, how do you expect anyone to follow you or to attract anyone if you're not doing it?
I know, and I don't know why I'm not doing it. It's just pissing me off. Like I don't know.
So incentive-wise,
sorry, I'm being a downer here.
Incentive-wise is not working?
Well, yeah, it is. Like, it excites me, but I think, like I emailed you last week, like my husband, like I know that we'll have financial freedom in the next couple of years through my husband's business. Like, and so I guess that's not something that's not my why. I don't, but at the same time, I want to have my own thing. Like, I want that to be my why. I want this to be my thing. And I do enjoy doing it when I'm in doing it, but I'm just not doing it.
I'm going to send you this TED Talk, which I was just listening to, that I was just speaking about, and it's actually Stop Searching for Your Passion. That everyone thinks that there's something wrong with them. If, you know, they say, why are you doing this? And, you know, and you kind of like feel like you have to come up with this great, grand reason, you know, that you want to save the world and free all the animals and, you know, have this big, huge, massive why. And sometimes, you know, stop searching for that and just it be enough that when people say, thank you, Kylie, for introducing me to this program, it's changed my life, that would be enough.
Mm.
But yeah, at the end of the day, it's like the same thing. It's like your inactivity is just causing more inactivity, and it's causing more self-doubt, and it's causing you to sort of second guess yourself and your confidence to plummet further. Like, the only way I believe that you're going to get back into it is if you do it, even though you don't want to do it. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's something that you need to decide that you're going to do it, because no one will follow you unless you do. But I'll send you that webinar. I think it'll be good for you to watch. It's only 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It just makes you feel like, you know, 'cause sometimes I'm like, oh, I did it for my kids, I did it for my mortgage, and then it's like, okay, that's done. Like, why else am I doing it? And sometimes you don't have to have a big, grand reason why you're doing it. It just could be self-satisfaction of getting people healthy. Like, it doesn't have to be massive.
Yeah.
Chantel's asked me to send it on too, so I'll just pop it up on the group. It might be a good idea to just pop it up.
Thank you.
And Alex wanted to know why Lyle didn't come on and speak more. Are you serious? He doesn't even speak to me half the time. Thanks for dinner, love. Yeah.
Heidi,
Yeah.
it's Sonia here.
Hi, Sonia.
Hi. I was just listening to Kylie, and I sort of resonated with her a little bit because I'm really passionate about Isagenix and how I got started, and a little bit of my journey has been a little bit, I guess, turbulent for me with my history, and I think you know a little bit about that. But I guess I just had that little bit of self-doubt, and for me it's just about getting started. But I sort of have felt a little bit how Kylie's feeling. But I think this Back to Basics course has really, I think it's given me that sort of stepping stone as well, and I've probably had a lot more confidence since joining this group for the last 6 weeks. So I want to say thank you, firstly. But also, I just hope that, yeah, I can get over that little bit of confident sort of barrier that I have. And
where do you live, Sonia?
I'm in Balcombe Hills.
Okay, so who's your upline?
Amanda Kenny. And yeah, I'm very new to the business side of it. I haven't really sort of started. I've been talking to people about it, and I've had a few sort of interests, but nothing's come into fruition as yet.
So why don't you sing out and let me do it for you? Like, hi, let's do a launch party.
Yeah, I would really love that. Yeah, I would really love that.
Just get me a date and I'm there.
Okay.
It's as simple as it is, and I think people overcomplicate it in their head. And you know what? If you invite, we'll talk about inviting people to events, and I know we did a webinar on that, but you invite a couple of people, you invite 10, 20 people, and no one turns out. I don't care. I'm still going to come anyway and do it for you.
Yeah, look, I can be very honest. I'll be honest with the whole group. I think about Isagenix probably at least 4 or 5 times a day for what the products are doing for me, and what my journey has been the last couple of years. I just can't be more thankful for crossing paths with Amanda at the hospital. And I'm such a big believer in these products, but I think I just have this barrier. And I think it probably is a confidence thing, and also the fear of failure, or the fear of people not taking it on, one, because of expense, or I guess, that stigma of network marketing, the stigma of, what the program could be. So I guess, yeah, but as I said, I have so much belief in Isagenix and want to be part of this company so much, and I know it will be my future, but it's just getting over that barrier. And like Kylie said, I'm trying to work out what that is. So whether it's confidence, whether it's the fact that no one will turn up to a lunch party, etc. But
they're just fears, and
I know
you look into what fears are. Fears are irrational, and trust me, I'm moving into my 3rd trimester of this pregnancy, and I have some serious irrational fears happening. But, I think the thing to recognise is that they're just your fears, and you have to own them. Yeah. But the only way to get over a fear is by doing it. Right?
Yeah.
So it's really important that you leverage the environment that you're in. So you've got Amanda, you've got Sandy, you've got me. Kylie's got Dave and Lisa. She's got Lauren. She's got me. And so really, not sitting there and being fearful by yourself, but actually reaching out and say, hey, I've got some real fears, but I need to get over them. And I think you can help me by just coming and doing a launch party for me, like getting those roller skates on. And, once you get a few enrollments from those launch parties, you'll see the power of them, and that will, your fears will dissipate.
Yeah.
And same with Kylie, Kylie, leverage Dave and Lisa with the webinar, get yourself back on track. You've run them before, they've been successful before. You've had a couple that have knocked you. But hey, in the last 4 years, if I stopped every time I got knocked, and so, it's just recognizing the fear and singing out for help.
Yep. Thank you.
Can I say something about the fear that during the last couple of weeks I've been doing a bit of self-development, which is something I never thought I would do. I thought that I don't need to do that, and have been, and I'm absolutely loving it. And so if anyone's not doing self-development, get into that. I'd be interested to know, Heidi, what you did, what your favourite self-development, I don't know, courses or speakers were. But about the fear, because I get paralysed by it probably on a daily basis, and have been listening to some Bob Proctor sessions, and there was a session last week on reaching the terror barrier, which I really liked. And he's basically saying that unless you're actually hitting this terror barrier, you're not growing. So, because there's safety and then there's growth. And so when we step out of safety, it's frightening and it's scary. And as soon as he said that, I was like, I felt so much better about my fear, and I actually embrace it. And so when I feel scared now, I actually get excited about it too, and just don't let it stop me. I sort of realize that it's actually me growing. So it's kind of how you look at it too. I just thought I'd add that. Don't be scared of being scared, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a great point, Eve. That's awesome. So, personal development is something that you will continue. You'll either grow or you'll stop growing. And I know you'll hear it from David Wood a lot, is that your income can only grow as much as you grow yourself. So if you feel like you're stagnant at the moment and you need that personal development, and that's great. And I think personal development really has its place. However, the biggest personal development you can do is growing your team. That's going to grow your confidence. And so pushing past those fear barriers and pushing yourself into action, and therefore then producing the results, I don't know. I don't think there's anything better than that, to be honest. But yeah. Anyway, it's gone 8:30, so I don't want to keep you guys too long. I'll keep the group open for a couple of weeks. If you have questions, please, use the group, and I'll be there to answer them. I'd love for you to share your success stories, what you've learnt, anything that's changed within your business in the last 6 weeks or moving forward. That's what I thrive off, so that will build my confidence. Thanks. But yeah, I'm always here to help you. I'm your upline, so don't be scared to send out messages. I will always respond. I will always be there for you guys. I will dig as deep as I need to dig so that you guys all become successful. But I think the best thing you need to get out of this, the thing you need to take away from this, is that you have all the skills you need to now to go and share this. And so it's just a choice whether you choose to do that or not, really, at the end of the day.
Can I say something about the fear?
Oh, yes. Lyle wants to say something, Alex. Here we go.
I know. I just wanted to touch on your fear. It's normal to have fear. I think, look, I'm scared shitless all the time, even speaking on this thing.
I can tell he's scared.
I think it comes down to your intentions. If your intentions are genuinely to help people, if your intentions are genuinely to help people and to either help them grow a business or to get healthy, I don't see how you can have fear in that. Obviously, people are going to judge in what you're doing, and that's always going to happen. But if in your heart you go out and you go, I'm here, all I'm doing is sharing something, so I want to help others achieve goals that you've seen other people achieve, I don't see anything scary about that side of thing. It's just more you have to get your head around that you are helping people. That's just...
Oh, there you go. He earned his title, Platinum Lyle. All right, guys. What a crescendo.
Great note to end.
All right, so yeah, guys, let me know what you've learned, what you're taking away, how your business has grown. If it's not growing, what's holding you back, and I'll keep that group open for a couple more weeks. But thanks for sticking with me. It's been really awesome, and yeah, I look forward to maybe repeating this for your guys in your downline in a few months to come, maybe after Bubs.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
All right, see you guys.
Thanks, Patty. Appreciate it.